get mortgage here. The criterias are different, but definitely yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. So let me ask you on the same part that what is the main difference in between if somebody who is a resident in Dubai wants to have a mortgage and somebody visiting on a tourist visa? What is the difference from the bank's point of view?
So from the bank's point of view, so here in Dubai, what if a resident who's a salaried or a businessman who want to get mortgage, the maximum mortgage amount that they get is 80% of the property value.
Okay.
Right. But as a non-resident who is not residing in UAE, they're a tourist. So bank will not lend them 80%, but they will lend them 65%, which is itself a good amount because no other country banks will lend non-resident mortgage. So here in Dubai, it is a good thing where you can get 60 to 65% of the property value mortgage, even you're not resident here.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it means that Dubai gives almost, good opportunities for the people who are even visiting Dubai on a
Absolutely.
tourist visa, until and unless they are working professionals and maybe the business owners.
Business owners.
So the financials has to be in place.
Exactly. The documentation, the financial part has to be in place because it's like maximum people are approaching mortgage now. So banks are getting little more strict on the KYC part, on the
Okay.
income part. So they are going through all the documents properly and then only they will fund you. So if your documents are in place, it's easy to get.
Okay. So my next question, Nitin, is going to be on the tourist part where somebody wants to have a mortgage and he's not a resident of Dubai. Let's assume a situation where a person is a salaried employee in India or in any other country for that matter. What is the minimum salary a person should be having to get a mortgage from the bank?
So, as a non-resident, the minimum salary criteria for a person, as you said, working in India, is around 20,000 dirham equivalent post-tax deduction, which which is a big amount because in other countries salaries are not that high.
Okay.
So, but we have other option also. There are banks who give them mortgage based on what average balance they maintain in their personal account.
Okay, so
So based on that, they can get the mortgage too.
So you can saying you're trying to say that if somebody is not a salaried employee in any organization around the globe, or if he's maintaining the healthy amounts in his savings account in his resident country, on that basis a loan can be
Yes,
also granted.
it can be. So how bank works is they will ask them for all the documentations, KYCs, their ownership, like if they're a businessman, their ownership document of the company and all. If they are salaried, their salary certificate, bank statements where salary is being credited. But in other countries, because Dubai is tax free, so not like other countries where India, for an example, it's a taxable country. So a lot of people they don't have liquidity in their savings account. But if they have that liquidity and they have a certain amount of money, which is around 25,000 plus dirham, lying in their account for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they will be eligible.
So you were trying to say that somebody who is not having a regular inflow in the bank accounts in the form of salary or in the form of like bank business income, and still that amount is lying there in the savings account, still he will be eligible for the for the
Yes.
mortgages.
So someone have money lying in their saving account, but they should have a regular income. Either they should be salaried or they should be business owner doing business, and so they should have an active income. That is for sure.
I see. So a regular inflow of income has to be there in the account. It is not like like a million or let's say 1 crore of rupees lying in the Indian account, but that person is not having a regular income, so he's not eligible for the bank mortgage.
So if that particular account don't have, and that is just a saving account, we can still use that account for the eligibility here in Dubai.
Okay.
But for the supporting, we need other statements which shows
Okay.
his regular income.
Okay, so a person has to have a regular income.
Yes.
So it is just a differentiation of the account whether the money is lying in the savings account rather than in lying
Current
there in the current account in which he is getting his regular credits. If the regular credit is not there at all, so it means he's not eligible. Okay, that's great. So my next question to you, Nitin, is since you have told us categorically and specifically that this much amount is required to be eligible for a bank mortgage in Dubai, which is I think you have just mentioned 20,000 dirhams and equivalent.
Yes, if they're salaried,
if they're salaried.
post-tax.
Okay, so do we have any kind of differentiation in this amount if a person is having a business income?
Yes, if they have a business income, bank will consider what average they maintain in their personal account.
Okay.
So if the average balance is 25,000 dirham, that's the entry point for one bank, and it goes higher.
I see. So if a person is having a salary which may be little less than 20,000 dirhams, I'm talking about the business owners, and in his account, which is a saving account, uh, a amount is lying which is equivalent to or even more than 25,000 dirhams on a regular basis, like for at least for 3 months.
Yes.
That can be considered.
Yes.
Okay. So it means a person is having a less salary, but the amount lying in his savings account is just right on the threshold, which can actually make him eligible to take a mortgage from any of the Dubai banks. But for the business owners, this is not a mandatory thing to have a particular amount as a salary, but
Yes.
amount which is lying there in the savings account matters.
Definitely, because we are not taking their business income
I see.
here in Dubai. So if someone is doing business in India, we will not be taking their business account details.
Okay.
We will be taking their saving account details
Okay.
and how much money they are able to maintain. Because saving account, if money is lying, means that person have that amount in their savings. So bank consider that as income.
Okay, again, coming back to the same point, Nathan. So you have categorically told what is the eligibility criteria of the non-residents who wants to have a mortgage to buy a property in Dubai. What are the thresholds when it comes to the salaried professional in any other part of the world, or if they are the business owners, what is the criteria that is required for them to get the mortgage from here? But what is the biggest concern that you have seen in all the cases that you get on a regular basis, especially when it comes to the non-residents? What is the major point that is the reason why their files or any application gets rejected?
So the major reason if the file is getting rejected is the compliance issue.
Okay.
Because if a person living in India is clean and not involved in any kind of wrongdoing, and so then there is no problem. Because though they are non-resident in UAE, there is a compliance check which happens. Bank do their entire process, and if they clear the compliance check, then only, and with that all the documents should be in place.
Okay.
The KYCs, the utility bill where they're living, everything should be in place. Then it gets easy. Otherwise the main issue is compliance.
So let's put a little more light on this particular part where this is the main reason of getting the files being rejected. What is that compliance issue? I'll give you an example to you. If somebody is employed in India and he is having his name involved in, let's assume, criminal cases or maybe in civil suits or whatsoever, but he's very clean in terms of his financials, like he's maintaining all the regular salaries and all the business credit. So what is that issue which counts, which makes him non-eligible?
So the main reason why files get rejected is the compliance. The most important is compliance should be clear. The client name should not come in any world check things. And if compliance is clear and his financial documents are in place and he is in the criteria of bank's financial requirement, he will get the mortgage.
Wonderful. So if you can just put a little bit of light on that word that you have used, is the world check. What exactly is this?
So for an example, all the countries, they have their database where any person doing any wrong thing, their records are there with them. So if your name or a person similar to your name is in their database, so it gets difficult for you to get the mortgage. Then they will ask you a lot of queries. Where were you at this time? And we have to give them all those documents to prove that you're not the same person.
I understand, because as people know that, I've been an investment banker, earlier. So when I used to work for one of the multinational banks, so whenever somebody used to come to us to open a bank account, they used to have a similar criteria of the world check. I don't want to go into the details since I don't know what are the details. So if there is a name mismatch, or let's say a name which is very common, and that name matches the world check, which raises the concerns for the bank for not to go ahead with any kind of application through him, bank doesn't go.
True.
So it means the financial has to be good and his name should not be in that list.
Exactly.
Oh,
Even if it's a common name, if he gives all the documentations required that he's not that same person, bank will be okay with it, but they will take their time to check and do all their homework.
Okay. So my next question is, when you are or anybody is a non-resident and wants to apply a mortgage in Dubai to buy a property, without naming a bank, what is the highest percentage that you have seen in your career? Like, a bank is granting mortgage up to a certain percentage, which is the highest that you have seen in all your experience through for a non-resident.
So the maximum eligibility for a non-resident that bank give is 65% of the property value
To non-residents.
to the non-resident.
65% is the maximum that
Maximum that
a
they
person can get.
Yes.